Greetings and blessings, everyone. This is yours truly, Empress Chassie Warmington, aka All That Chaz, aka Lupus Slayer. I do apologize. I didn't realize this was up here like this. Let me see what's going on. Why you blocking y'all for seeing me? Stop blocking people for seeing my natural. Anyway, again, greetings and blessings, everyone. This is yours truly, Empress Chassie Warmington, aka All That Chaz, aka Lupus Slayer, coming to you guys this morning about some very important information that every melanin person needs to adhere to. This is not a joke. I don't understand what it's going to take for melanin people in a whole collectively to really see the full dynamic of what's going on and the problems and issues that we are dealing with in this racist behind nation. Well, it's not that the nation is racist, it's the people who are leading in lead of our local, our state, and our national governments are the ones that are creating this problem, these issues that we are experiencing with racism in this nation, in this country. And until we get aggressive and put our foot down and make and take a stand, it's not going to get any better. And I really wanted to reach out to anybody who is in the state of Georgia, all the Georgians, whether you are native or if you have migrated here from another state, another country. If you're residing in the state of Georgia and you are a citizen in the state of Georgia, especially if you're melanin, you definitely need to be paying attention to what I'm stating and adhere to the information that I'm providing to you guys. Okay. So I don't know. Listen, always know that one thing about the enemy, the adversary, those who hate you are always plotting something. They always have some kind of scheme up their sleeve, something to try to destroy you, stop you, hinder you, attack your character. I mean, they doing everything possible. That's why even now in the media, which I had mentioned yesterday on my IG live, now what the media, mainstream media has been doing is defaming and pretty much um trying to destroy and take our character as a group of people in whole by infiltrating that we as melanin people are terrorists against Asians, that we are the reason Asians are being attacked in America, that we are the reason that Asians are, you know, having it is being discriminated against when we know. I don't know, there's hardly any melanin person in the world that I know or know of do not support Asian in some form or fashion. And I'm not talking about just with the nails and with the hair, but even with friendships. I know for me, I have Asian friends, like really true, genuine friends who are Asian. And I don't have any problems with them, and they don't have any problems with me. So, this narrative that the mainstream media is trying to infiltrate, they're trying to infiltrate this because they're trying to get as many people on their side as possible. And when I say people, they that when I say they are meaning the racist leaders and the racists in the nation, even in media, in all of these facets, are trying to create uh, diversion to deflect things that the wrong that they're doing instead of reflecting on the wrongs that they are doing and constantly doing. And I'm going to be doing a segment, a show on deflecting instead of reflecting. So you guys want to stay tuned for that. Thank you, everybody who's watching. You can leave a comment. I can respond back to you verbally, but it doesn't allow me to respond back in text unless I use a different device. But The situation is right now in the state of Georgia, there's a bill that's called the House Bill, the 531 House Bill, which is a bill that has been intentionally created to suppress melanin people from voting. I just want you guys to understand that this has always been in the play. That's why with all the gentrifications that's been taking place in Atlanta and Buckhead and different areas like Kirkwood, Adamsville, um, what's the other one? It's Edgewood and all of these areas where they never took pride in and cared about before. But what they have decided to do is, first and foremost, they don't want public transit. They designed the. Well, let me go back. I'm moving ahead of myself. Okay, they strategically planned and plotted a way to try to move as many melanated people out of the inner cities of Atlanta and the close surrounding areas of Atlanta that is considered metropolitan. And the reason why they're doing this is because they want to try to put melanated people who they know that majority of melanated people in the state of Georgia work minimum wage jobs. They have very low paying jobs. They're not CEOs. They're not senior executives of these major corporations that you see that come here and they have businesses here. And I'm talking about major corporations, Fortune 500 companies, from insurance companies to internet companies to banks, financial institutions, educational systems, and the list go on and on. You don't find too many of us in these extravagant and ultra rich, ultra wealthy positions. Okay, they don't give those positions to a lot of melanin people, especially here in the state of Georgia. So what happens is, even if melanin people worked, if you as one person worked two or three jobs, and these jobs are paying you $12 to $15 an hour, you still wouldn't even make enough to qualify for the mandatory monthly qualifications that they have for you to pay the rent, which is 2.5 times to 3 times the rent. So if the rent is already $1,500, then that means you're going to have to be making $4,500 a month. And if you're working two or three jobs that's only paying you $12, $15 an hour, that is not going to happen. Okay, you're going to have to. If this is for a one bedroom, it's not even two bedrooms. I'm not saying that they don't have some two bedrooms that are cheaper than that in Atlanta, because they do, but normally those are areas where you deal with a lot of crime. You got to worry about break-ins. If you do like crime mapping, that is a website that I use, and it's also an app, crimemapping.com. It tells you about crimes that has happened in the community, in the neighborhood, what type of crime it was, and everything. So we dealing with systemic, here we go, another way of another systemic oppression plot. And so what they did first is they wanted to get as many of melanin people pushed out of the city of Atlanta, out of the metropolitan area, particularly out of the city of Atlanta, because they really want to make Atlanta the way it used to be during the time of slavery, when it used to be, what was that, Marthaville, or whatever that little girl name is. The governor at the time, he named the city of Atlanta after his daughter. Then they changed it to Atlantic Station. Then they changed it to um, Atlanta. They just called it Atlanta. So there's a history and a consistent pattern. And what upsets me the most is people refuse, melanin people especially. And I have to say this because a lot of melanin people do not, if even if they know the history, they don't take heed to it, and they're casual, so casual and carefree and dismissive of the seriousness of the issue that is at hand. And so what they're trying to do now is um, trying to prevent early voting, missing ballot voting. So, say for instance, if you are in the hospital and you're in a coma, of course, you can't do a ballot for yourself. That's why, for me, I already have someone as a power of attorney to that I have authorized to step in. That's legally. You can actually do that yourself. You can just go get a notary. You can type it up yourself, and or I can type it up for you. I would actually do that for free for you. Um, and you type it up and you have a list at least 2 or 3 different people that you want to have as power of attorneys for you or to handle your affairs, that you would give authorization to handle your affairs in the case that you are in a situation where you cannot act act for yourself because you are in a coma or because you're incarcerated, or or you're across the country in another country working, or you in the military or something. There's things that we could do to get around it, but what they're trying to implement, and they've already actually have the understand the House of Representatives here in the state of Georgia are mostly Republicans. Okay, yes, we have Democrats in the House of Representatives as well, but I'm going to explain to you what they're trying to do with them, how they're trying to keep them. I'm telling you, they're trying to bind our hands to prevent us from protesting and fighting against this bill that they're trying to send up to the Senate to get a vote on. And we have until the 6th of next month, if I'm not mistaken. I think it's the 6th. Wait a minute, no, Monday. This, I think is it this coming Monday? I think it's this coming Monday that we have to protest against it and to decline it, which of course we will. But first and foremost, our constitutional right allow us to vote, whether it's on a state level or on a federal level, a national level. A state cannot separate a separate bill to suppress voting rights for U.S. legal U.S. citizens. Okay, they cannot do that. So the state of Georgia is about to face some serious lawsuits, and I forgot the 2 young ladies' name. I saw. Wait a minute. Oh my gosh, she's on the House of Representatives. Let me go. Let me do this. See, I like to keep my devices with me because I like to go online while I'm actually doing lives like this, so you all know that I'm getting my information directly from the government websites. I don't like to necessarily use third-party websites. I like to go directly to like the state of Georgia, um, the state of Secretary of Georgia. I like to use direct links like that so that people will understand that this isn't a third party website where someone is just giving a commentary or doing a story or editorial on an issue, but this is actually coming directly from the state of Georgia or from the direct source itself. So let me look her name up. Um, because one of the state capitol cops had the audacity. He grabbed her. It was not even necessary for him to grab her the way he grabbed her. But this is what they do when you stand up to them and you let them know that you're not going to tolerate their racism and you're not going to tolerate them being their disrespect and tolerate them constantly violating your rights and disregarding you as a human being. They get upset and they get these armies and these police. I keep telling people, policing was never to protect us. Even the military, the army was never to protect us. The army and police force was always the reasons they were created is to steal, kill, and destroy. That's what they were created for. That's what, look at history. Just go back in time. And I hate to say United States is the worst. The United States and the UK, period. The United Nations, period. All of the countries and nations united with United Nations are have a notorious reputation of terrorizing other nations and countries, kidnapping their people and their natives and forcing them into slavery, killing them and taking possession of their land and their cattle and their property, even their children, their women and their men. They have a notorious, consistent pattern and reputation of always doing this to steal their natural resources, to steal this and feel comfortable doing it. And because they knew that these other nations, they did not have the same power and authority and connections as these nations, they were able to get the upper hand. Let me see. I have a comment. Let me read it. Thank you, IT Effect. I know who that is, IT Effect. Thank you. Hey, how are you, Adrian? But this has not been something that is new. And I just don't understand why so many melanin people are still so slack and so carefree and actually just careless about what's going on. And what happens is, because people are able to get by and you still seeing melanin people becoming millionaires, you still seeing melanin people thriving and they're accomplishing things. Never forget about Tulsa, Oklahoma. Never forget about that. Never forget about how they destroyed Black Wall Street. Remember the military. I, guys, okay, I'm trying to pace myself with this. It's really hard, and I'm going to get you guys the representative, the House of Representatives, who the one of the state capitol cops tried to manhandle, and they were made to, they were made to leave the protesters alone. But I want you guys to pay attention to this. History repeats itself if you're not careful. All right. Remember, Tulsa, Oklahoma, when they destroyed those melanin communities, because some what was that, the Tillman, the white lady who lied on the black men and went crazy, but that wasn't the real reason why. That was just an excuse. The real reason why they did that is because the melanin community did not have to rely on them. They didn't have to rely on their livestock. They didn't have to rely on their cultures. They didn't have to get their fruits and vegetables from them. They did. They had their own banks, so they didn't even have to deal with their if financial um, structure or anything. It's like we became completely solely independent. Well, we did not have to rely on them for any resources. So as a result of that, it was the brothers. One of those brothers' name. Um, it was a group of it was a family. It was a group of brothers. They're the ones that initially started the riot and started the terrorism. And they actually was the government, the United States government. Hear me when I say this, melanin people. Even though melanin people were successful, they were thriving, they were doing good, and our United States government allowed racists to use United States Army military aircrafts to bomb these black owned businesses and communities, tore the whole community up. And are you guys hearing me clear when I tell you this? What happened when people was protesting after George Floyd got killed by that cop? And people really got angry and was protesting. What did they do? They got the military on innocent protesters. Are you guys woke now? Are you all really seeing what's going on? Do you guys really understand why they have military now and why they have policing? It was never to protect and serve us. It was always to hinder us, to enslave us, to prevent us from excelling and accomplishing wonderful things. And when we did, they always try to find a way to destroy. They are trying to find taxes. Look at number 45. They've been known that this man had not been paying taxes and writing his taxes off in the tune. This is for his own property. This is for his own mansion that he have. I think it's in New York somewhere, but he got this huge mansion. It's like a palace almost. This man have not paid taxes on it since he got it, in the tune of over $21 million. You know that the state of New York knew that this man was not paying no taxes and he was doing manipulative stuff. That's why he never wanted his taxes to be revealed. And that's another reason why he fought so hard to stay president, because he knew that he would not have that presidential protection to keep his taxes sealed, which he doesn't supposed. They don't even supposed to keep them sealed regardless. But I'm just letting you guys know, and I want you all to pay attention to how they make rules and regulations based on what they want and to their likening and to their favor and to their desires. So knowing this, that's why it's so important that we as melanated people who are not brainwashed like 50 cents, it is what it is, or Steve Harvey. I know people like Steve Harvey, but he brainwashed too. He's a coon, just like 50 cents, coonville. Okay, they coonology 101. Okay, I just put it to you this way: we're gonna have to start getting in these positions. They're mad because the Democrat took the House Senate, the U.S. House Senate that they took over. So now what the racist states are doing, and it's not just the state of Georgia, there's other, if your state is a red state or has always, for the most part, been a red state, Georgia just became a blue state because of the U.S. Senate, Wardoff, and the other guy, I forgot his name. Um, I don't know why. I just don't remember names. I'm real bad with that. I told you guys that I'm real bad with names, but y'all know who he is. Uh, Ossoff, that's his name, Ossoff. But because they know that they don't have the Republicans to back them up with their fuckery, now they trying to hinder our votes here in the state of Georgia by strategizing. And they, let me tell you, this isn't the only plan. Let me pull this lady, this representative up so I can give you guys her name. Georgia State New Bill voting. Okay, I'm just gonna put in Georgia voting, and then I'm gonna go to news. Okay, so this is at the Georgia State Capitol, where protesters are on the state inside of the Capitol, and there are representatives there. I hope they leave their names. They don't show her name, but she was grabbed by one of the police, state capitol police there. But that's what they do. You know, that all of this has been a plot. So they're trying to eliminate mail in applications. They want to mail in absentee ballots. They want to eliminate early voting. Um, and the thing about, let me tell you how hypocritical this is. Remember when the U.S. House of Senate was Republican, and when number 45 won, they wasn't thinking about that. It was fine. But because he has lost and their whole, because understand these people work together, they strategize together. They're like a pack of wolves, okay? They strategize together and they had formulated a plan on how they can suppress melanin people, how they can prevent us from voting, how they can try to prevent us from becoming independent business owners. Like they don't want us to have any liberty at all. And the fact that they're trying to now suppress our votes, this goes back to the how I was telling you guys how they're trying to move strict how they plotted and planned to when previous farmer the former governor Deal was in office, they was plotting even then and even before him how they were working on a way to move melanin people out of the city of Atlanta and put melanin people in areas that were prevent them from being able to get to voting polls. And then remember, um, Governor Kemp, before he became governor, back in 2017, he was sued for voters' oppression. He was intentionally having the cords to the vote machines hidden, wouldn't allow people to vote. He was having the machines sabotaged or lying, saying that the voting machines were sabotaged or they were, some kind of issue with it. Was always something. So this man has already been sued 2 times, in 2017 and in 2019. He's already been sued twice here in the state of Georgia, in the Georgia Supreme Court by Stacey Adams and the Black Coalition and the NAACP for intentionally tampering with voter machines and trying to prevent melanin people from voting. See, understand they see who's voting and they saw how our votes made a significant difference. They seen our votes is what got us off and ward off into their U.S. Senate positions and made it blue, made it Democrat. And they're angry about that. You guys got to remember the 3 branches of the government of the United States nation, the government, with the legislative, the executive, and the judicial. Remember, the legislative is what create laws. That branch create laws, okay? So those laws are created by the Senate, whoever is in the U.S. House of Senate. So therefore, they control a lot of the laws that are created. Now, the judicial branch of the government consists of those who analyze the law and either approve the law or say the law needs to be tweeted or they say it needs to be thrown away altogether. They are they analyzes the law. That's where the Supreme Court is, the judges. And the reason this is so important because if the House of Legislation, the legislative branch of the United States of America sets a law that all states in the United States have to abide by, says, well, we have to do criminal reform. No more locking up people over marijuana that's under an ounce or that's under 2 ounces is considered recreation. The judicial court, the judicial branch of the United States government then states they analyze it, which are the Supreme Court judges. If they decided they don't like it, they can reject it. It doesn't mean that it won't pass, but they can ultimately write it off, say yes, they can say yes or no to it. And that makes a big difference. That's why it's so important for us as melanin people to be aware of these things and to be conscious of the people that we are voting for and who are holding these political positions. Because either where your local government, your state government, guess what? They're in cahoots with the national government. So, yes, you do have to be aware of who you're voting for in your local and state government, who your director of board of education are, who's your council of house, who's your, all of these different political positions. You have to be aware of who these people are. I know every single commissioner in my district, and I have a list of all the commissioners in other districts of the county that I'm in. Okay, because I don't. This county is huge. It's like 24 cities, 24, 26 cities, because they don't separated another one. So it's like 26 or 27 cities within DeKalb County. Okay. I know I have a list of every single commissioner of every single district because it's just a link. It's a link. You can get the link, put it in, bookmark it. So when you need to find out who is in charge or who handles this, that, you can just click on that link and it'll tell you. You can see the description, you'll see what they do, and you need to know what these people do that are in the position. You need to understand the different branches of government, these different titles and positions in government, what their responsibility are, how it affects you, how it can benefit you or it help you or either destroy you. You have to ask yourself those questions, and it's really essential and important for you guys to know this and understand that. Okay, and I'm going to be right back. I'm going to go ahead and I have a commercial that I have to play right quick, and once I play this commercial I will be right back. But guys, please wake up, open your eyes and see the reality of what's going on. I know it's painful, and I know a lot of people don't like to face reality, but the truth is nevertheless the truth. Be right back.
C Entertainment Networks is a multicultural and diverse world in one place, has celebrity supporters, and provides various entertainment services like branding, hosting, speaking, press kits, live interviews, and more. Just head over to www.chenllc.com to find out more. Thank you for your support.
Okay, thank you guys for watching that. But it's so important. Oh, I said I was get her name. I keep forgetting. I'm sorry. I'm so excited. I'm so full. Um, let me see if I can find her name. Dang. Okay, let me see. I think. All right. So it's State Representative Park Kennan and um, it just says D Atlanta. I don't know. I guess it's Democrat Atlanta, but they don't show the other lady's name. But these two ladies, they're on the state. They're inside the state capitol. They are actually representatives of state representatives. Okay, and they have seen so much injustices come through those doors and be on the table. And the House bill right here, I don't know if you guys can see that, but it's a House bill called 531. And this House bill is a sweeping bill that would make multiple changes to restrict voting. Um, could come up from vote as soon as this Monday, like I was stating, this Monday. And let's see. But yeah, we they're plotting, and when you go under the bill, because The bill, what they do is they have so much information under these one bills. Like one, like Representative Cannon was stating, like one bill can it be 100 pages long. Then you have another bill that is 100 pages long. So they do that to try to wear you down, to make you exhausted, to make you throw up your hands and be like, whatever, just let them do whatever. I'm not fit to go through all this. It's just too much. Because they're always going to do that. They always coming trying to present bills to suppress voters' right. And I commend these two state representatives who are melanin women. They are so vulnerable because they are first and foremost women, and then they're melanin women at that, and they rock their natural hair. So they already just have bullseyes on their back just from being melanin women. Now imagine with melanin people. That's why I keep telling people it doesn't. If you're in those kind of positions, do something to make a change. And these two courageous women are doing something. They're using their power to bring about change and awareness of what's going on in the state of Georgia. They're letting Georgians know, look, they're trying to keep you all from voting. They're trying to suppress melanin people. They're trying to put you all in a situation where you guys can't vote, you know? But all of this has been plotted. It's nothing new. That's why it's so crucial that you guys go to these meetings. They be having a lot of public meetings where you can either go in person. Normally they'll have it like at 21 Exchange, or they'll have them virtually, or they have them at different places. But when they have these meetings, go to them, show up in record numbers. I'm telling you, you're talking about scared and intimidating. That would intimidate the hell out of them because they wouldn't be expecting that. So imagine if we as melanin people showed up in record numbers to every single meeting that they have. Let them see our faces. Let them know that we're not intimidated or afraid of them. Because as long as we're passive, and as long as we're always going to be forgiving and, oh, turn the other cheek mentality, which I ain't gonna even go there. That's a totally different story, different subject. But the religion got a lot of people stuck with that kind of mentality, and they thinking that's how it's supposed to go when it doesn't. But if we come up, they're not going to be expecting that, and it will intimidate the hell out of them. It will scare them, and you know what they'll do, just like at the United States state capitol when Black Lives Matter came on to protest and they knew they were going to come to protest. They sit up there, they got the National Guards, they had the whole full attack force, and they were geared up and everything. And and Black Lives Matter was completely peaceful. They wasn't rioting, they wasn't destroying property or even attempted to. They wasn't even violent at all. But they let their guards down with these white people, rioters. Not even, I don't even want to say white because it wasn't just white people out there. You had some blacks out there, you had Hispanics out there, you had um Asians out there. So you had people of different nationalities and races out there rioting and terrorizing, being terrorists, because that's what it is. And I hate how they try to keep downplaying it. They call it uh what do you call it, mortals or more monish, what is that, malicious. Now they use the word malicious. Then they was like started saying, calling number five out the way it is. They keep calling him excited. Oh, he excited. No, he initiated, he formulated, he strategized, he planned, and he plotted. Because if it wasn't planned and plotted, how is it that the heiress of Publix was able to donate $300,000, $300,000 to the riot? And that's what she called it. It was a riot. So this stuff that they're trying to sweep under the rug, you can see how they try to downplay because of the complexion of majority of the people that are involved. But had it been us, we're ghetto gang bangers. Look at these animals. Da, 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 da. They would have just been trying to tear us up. See, this is why we got to tear them down. This is why we got to stop them. They're out of control. They just vandalize us. They're animals. They're this. They would do anything possible. They would call us all kind of derogatory names. They would be using names like um, excited or um, what is molitioners or whatever mortals. What is the word that they use? Some M word. What do they call them? Maritals or some more, I don't know, some word like that that they're using in they wouldn't be using that if it was us as melanin people. And we know this. So the reality of it is we as melanin people gonna have to take initiative to stand up for ourselves and work together and do what we need to do to own communities because we do not own communities. We only live in them. We don't own neighborhoods. We live in it. That's why I can't stand these little fake game bangers. Also, so my community, my block. Y'all little sorry piece of asses ain't paid for ish. Y'all don't even most of y'all don't even pay property taxes. Never paid property taxes in your life. You barely get paid sales taxes. So when you go out, you purchase stuff in public stores or whatever, you pay sales taxes. They can barely do that. So we don't own neighborhoods and communities. We need to own them. And what I will say that I noticed with the Jews and the Catholics, they own their communities. With the Hindus and the Muslims, they buy communities. They buy the properties in those communities. They buy them and they build upon them. And it's like if there's a bank, a police department, whatever, it's going to be on their land. They're going to be calling the shots. We don't have that. We don't have that. And the reason why, because for one, a lot of melanin people are still desensitized to what's going on and they don't care and they're not paying attention to what's going on. Two, melanin people will not work together to save their life. Everybody want to lead. Nobody don't want to sit back and be a follower. Everybody want to be a leader. And most people who trying to lead don't even know what the hell is going on. First and foremost, if you don't even know or didn't know any of the information or half of the information I just mentioned in this video, your ass don't need to be trying to lead, do nothing. You need to sit your ass down and be a follower. That's what you need to do because you don't know what's going on and you don't understand. You don't have the understanding and the wisdom. So you don't need to be trying to lead when you don't have knowledge, wisdom, and understanding of what's going on, how to fight it, how to combat it, and come and strategize to resolve it. Sit your ass down and follow. You know? And thirdly, melanin people always want money up front. I know communities right now that I can go to, and I know two directors of these communities. What they do is they don't wait. They don't be like, oh, well, because you can't contribute right now because you don't have the monies, we can't let you be a part of it. What they do, if you want a business and you're able and you're capable of running that business, what they do is they would train you with they have their own business courses or they would send you to school themselves to like a trade school or something and help you get a certificate in business or some kind of business training. They will pay for it. Not only will they pay for it, but they'll help you get your business started. Meaning, because they buy the community, they own all the damn buildings in the community, so they can put there whoever the hell they want to put in those buildings. So that's what they do. They'll put you in, let your business get established and set up. They'll put another person in their business, let them get set up and established, even with the house, their homes and stuff. Put them in their homes. They just, they help them with the utilities until they're able to do it for themselves. They really go out their way like that. Like, I'm not exaggerating. I promise you, they do that. Not only the Caribbeans do it too. A lot of there's the Caribbean Coalition here, and some of the Caribbean groups that I personally have met and worked with. done community activism work with, they do the same thing. They're going to help you. They have people to help you. Africans do it too. A lot of the Africans, they do that too. They have, they be like, okay, we got this person. They're here from, our same villa. They're of our same providence. They of our same tribe. They'll have you housed and they make sure that you're taken care of. But us melanin people here in America, especially that were born and raised in America, won't do that for each other. Well, she don't have no money. Well, he ain't got no upfront money. Well, we can't help him. And the reason why we can't is because none of us own ish like that. There's not too many of us that own plazas that, I mean, like own them, not paying mortgage on it, not owing any money, but it's right out yours. We don't have that. And a lot of these rich, very rich melody people won't even buy communities and build them up or to help melanin people. They don't do it. So it's good they build schools. I'm proud of it because education is very important and each do a part. So building a school is a lot of responsibility. Big ups to Jabron. I mean not Jabron, LeBron. I'm talking about Jabron. LeBron James, and it was another one that just recently built a school. What was his name? Russell Spikes or something like that. He just built a school. But I'm just saying, there's people like that that's doing something. They taking their monies and doing something positive. There's a lot of rich people, melanin people that won't do that. There are melanin lawyers that would not represent melanin people for courtesy to help, knowing that it's going to reward them. They're going to eventually get rewarded much greater than what their fees are. They don't see it that way. You got construction companies, melanin owned construction companies and builders and property management companies that won't go and buy these abandoned houses and buildings and build them up and fix them up and gentrify communities themselves, buy up the community. Once they band together and just buy up communities that they see are destituted, they won't do that because they don't want to work together. Everybody wants to leave. And it's more than enough to do that. That's the thing. Like, it's more than enough rich people out there that can band together and buy up these destituted melanin communities or communities that are destituted and make them be owned and operated by melanin people. But they won't do that. And that's the biggest problem also. So you guys just pay attention to what's going on. Please do not ignore it. Keep watching, keep your eyelids peeled back and pay attention. Okay. So I just wanted to throw that out there, let you guys know that. I'm going to go ahead and play another commercial. In conclusion, my rabbit's over here playing with this ball. Honey, he just in his own little world right now, la la land. But I'm going to play another commercial, and I would like for you guys to please take heed to what I'm saying. Do your own research. By all means, this is any state. If you melanin, you need to be knowing when they having these public meetings so that you can make your voices be heard and show up. We need to show up in record numbers. That is very intimidating to them. And they're trying to deflect everything off of themselves instead of reflecting. They're trying to deflect it on us by even trying to get Asian peoples and China and Hispanics, trying to make every other group and nationality of people think that we are against them and that we hate them and that we are the bad guys when we never flew an airplane to their countries or nations and never bombed their nations. We never kidnapped any of their people or gave their people injustices and forced them to free labor. We didn't do that. We didn't make them build streets and stuff and take sugar canes. We didn't do that. Okay, so let's not forget about that. It wasn't us that did that. And furthermore, it wasn't us as melanin people who created the Constitution either or created policing or the military. We didn't create those. So Don't be brainwashed. Pay attention. But I'm ready to play this commercial because I'm mad right now. All right, guys. Well, that's going to conclude it. But I hope this gave you guys a lot of insight and information on what's going on. And just remember, please always remember, they're always plotting. Um, because there's several others. There's like 100 something more bills that they're trying to get passed to suppress again voters, melanin people, melanin voters, melanin people. Period. Trying to prevent us from having equality, true equality. They're always, and the thing about it is like that's why they wanted the Republicans there. They wanted number 45 to stay because he would have been evil enough to actually sign off on it, even though we would have had to just collectively, as a whole people, sue this entire nation. We would have had to sue the government, and you can't sue the federal government. People say you can't. Yes, you can. But I don't know. We got to get it together. We really do. We have to get it together because if we don't, we're gonna. Number 45 says something, and I don't know. I Out of everything that he has said, with all the idiotic stuff that he said, it's only one thing that he stated that is not idiotic that sticks with me. And he stated that if he said if black people, he said this publicly on TV, if black people are not careful, they can find themselves repeating history. This is a racist that was in power, the most powerful position here in the United States, that we see Congress and all of these others, even still to date, still are afraid to stand up to, made that statement live on TV. Do you not think that he wouldn't try to make that happen if he was reelected and would have continued on being U.S. president? Do you not think he would have tried to plot that to happen? Guys, don't be fooled. And I just need to say this to every group of people that's out there. All you Hispanics, all Asians, all non-melanin groups of people. Stop falling for the lies, especially people of India, in the nation of India. Stop believing the hype and the propaganda. We are not y'all enemies. We have never, as melanin people, no group of melanin people, even in the nation, the continent of Africa, have never ever bombed any of y'all synagogues, y'all temples, y'all crops. We never did any of that. We never enslaved our people. We never kidnapped any of your people to enslave, to work for us, and to make our lives better, or try to steal or did steal your ancestors' property. Look at number 45 now. What he's still trying to fight Mexico and trying to steal the indigenous people's land that's over there. He trying to the last piece of indigenous property that's over there. And it's in New Mexico. I'm sorry, in New Mexico. And the governor of New Mexico is just a straight up punk, because you're going to allow somebody to come in there and try to take away the indigenous land of natives there. You don't stand up to them because you're a racist, like like your friend number 45. Understand, people, it's so much. It's real. It's not even that it's just deep, it's real, it's realistic. And people who are not in our skin and that doesn't live or have not lived as we had to live in this nation and as our ancestors have had to live in this nation do not comprehend it at all. And they won't. They can't because they will have to be our skin in our skin to understand. I mean, they will have to live and breathe being us to understand. But don't let these racists, especially these racist powers that be, manipulate you guys, brainwash you all, and lie to you guys, and make you all think and feel like we, as melanin people, are y'all problem. We are not y'all problem. We're the least of your problems in your words. It's not us that you guys need to be worried about because we don't have big ships like that where we can send out fleet airplanes and jets to come fly over your countries and blow y'all up. We don't own that. That's not what we own. That belongs to the racist government. So think about those things. Don't let them hype y'all up and swell y'all head, brainwash you guys, and manipulate you guys. Pay attention to the pattern. Look at the consistent pattern. And this may offend some people. I don't care because I'm not saying it to attack any particular group of people. I'm saying it because it's true. But because I'm a melanin woman, if I say it, then I'm being racist or I'm angry. I'm an angry black woman. Instead of me just being realistic and telling the truth and actually stating truths, not facts. Facts can change. How the facts with the COVID, it was one fact was this, and then the next facts it was that. So facts they change, but the truth never changes. It's the same today, tomorrow, until. So y'all remember that when they trying to plant stuff in y'all head and make you all feel like we are terrorists and that we are all of these bad, evil things. Because I'm gonna be honest with you, do you realize that they always make sure that they take crimes and bad stuff that melanin people do, and they make sure it's plastered all over the news. But they don't have stuff plastered like the white couple in Florida that just killed their 8-year old daughter. They killed her and raped her. They raped her first and then they killed her. You don't see that plastered all over the news. I bet you all didn't even know that happened, right? See, that's what they do. They try to paint this picture of melanin people being a certain way by just constantly showing you guys melanin people committing heinous crimes. It just how about the crimes that was committed recently against Asians that was by a Caucasian European man? That didn't go nationwide. That didn't go on national. No, really, hardly any national news media covered it. Did you hear it on Fox? Did you hear it on NBC? No, because that's not. They don't want to paint a picture of a certain group of people. They want to be derogatory, but they want to paint our group, melanin people. They want to paint us as being these monsters, these evil people. So they're going to keep showing you things that are negative that certain melanin people have done. While all the while they're doing that, there's 3 or 4 non-melanin people that has committed way worse, but you will never really hear about it on news. You won't know it unless you just happen to stumble upon. That's why I like YouTube, because YouTube, World Star Hip Hop, those kind of platforms, they show stuff that you don't the crimes that be committed by other groups of people that doesn't even make it on news, and you'd be like, wow. Or even just local independent local news stations or reports that don't make it to national news platforms, like a lot of crimes that melanin that you would see, you'll hear about melanin people committing, but you won't hear about other groups, like the football player who abused his girlfriend and beat her. I mean, he almost killed her. He even said that he wanted to kill her. He knew exactly what he wanted to do, what he was doing. But as usual, oh, well, he has a history of mental illness, so we're going to put him in rehab. It started charging this man with attempted murder. So don't don't fall for it. Just don't, because we're not your enemies. I promise you, we're not. But I really do appreciate you guys for watching. Please support my Gloves On campaign, advocating for those battling chronic illnesses and diseases and disabilities. You guys can go to my platforms for Lupus Slayer on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter to learn more. I am doing advocating for those, again, battling chronic illnesses and diseases. Like myself, I do battle chronic illnesses and diseases. Donations are accepted. Please make the donations on the website only. Please do not make them on change.org. I explained that on the website as to why, and I'm actually settling out of court with them because they don't want this to go major in the news, because they know that it will if they don't agree to how much I want them to pay out because they have just been stealing donations and I have concrete proof of it. So hopefully they will, do the right thing, and but in any case, guys, I'm getting ready to go. And again, you guys have a lovely evening. God bless. Well, love, peace, and I'm out like a light. If it lets me out.